World War III alert: North Korea could fire deadly Juche nuclear weapon today. North Korea could fire its most fearsome nuclear weapon today as U.S. President Donald Trump visits Kim Jong-un's southern rivals. North Korea frequently arranges its missile tests to coincide with major international meetings, and Donald Trump's visit to Seoul could be the perfect opportunity for the rogue state, an expert has warned. Mr. Trump's visit to South Korea will conclude with a major speech on North Korea tomorrow, but the U.S. president has already sent a message to Pyongyang after landing in Seoul. The U.S. president said, "While we hope to God not to have to resort to military force, he was ready to do whatever was necessary to prevent the North Korean dictator from threatening millions of lives." After a meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in, Mr. Trump said, "We cannot allow North Korea to threaten all that we have built. It really makes sense for North Korea to come to the table and make a deal." His high-profile visit could provoke a fiery response from Kim Jong-un, who sees any cooperation between the U.S. and North Korea's Asian rivals as preparation for war. In February, the hermit state fired a rocket after Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe met Mr. Trump in Florida. And North Korea fired another missile as Mr. Trump met with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Experts fear Kim could make his biggest statement yet by firing the so-called Juche, a fearful H-bomb. Joshua Pollack of RUSI said North Korea could fire the weapon in a desperate show of force as his two fiercest rivals move closer together. He said Kim favored public demonstrations and expected one to take place shortly. Mr. Pollack said, "North Korean leadership undoubtedly feels pushed into a corner." He said Kim could make good on his promise earlier this summer to launch the most powerful detonation of an H-bomb in the Pacific. This would most likely be the Juche H-bomb, the most powerful weapon North Korea possesses. Mr. Pollack said, "The logical sequence of actions would be to start testing them to full range into the Pacific, and then to use one for a live nuclear test if it is deemed necessary to convince America's leaders that a new reality has emerged. This is a high-risk enterprise, extreme even by Pyongyang's standards. If something goes wrong, a live nuclear warhead could fall onto Japan. It will be seen as an extraordinarily provocative act, one that could create a new unity among the great powers against North Korea and inspire a drive for rearmament in Japan." And it is believed the H-bomb would be launched from the hermit state's east coast over Japan into the Pacific, where it would explode over the ocean. It would destroy any living being in the immediate vicinity, sending fallout across a wide area. And a failed detonation could see the missile come hurtling down onto Japan. Vipin Rain, a nuclear strategy expert at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, said the prospect was truly terrifying. He said, "And if the test doesn't go according to plan, you could have population at risk, too. We are talking about putting a live nuclear warhead on a missile that has been tested only a handful of times. It is truly terrifying if something goes wrong."